everybody on YouTube. Welcome to my kitchen. I have you sitting up on my windowsill with the hopes that this is decent lighting, and my neighbors, if they see me, they're gonna wonder, why is that girl just talking to the window? But you'll know what I'm doing. So I wanted to make this video for my shadow work series, since my card of the year this year was the Devil card, and that is a very shadow worky kind of card, and I think it's time for me to dive into this process. And any of you out there who are shadow workers or who have been through the process of shadow work, you know it takes time, it takes patience, it takes suffering, grief, and breaking down, but also rebuilding and joy and enlightenment and gnosis, and it's just like, so juicy. Anyway, so this video, I think I'm going to try to mash together several ideas of videos that I've had in the past few weeks. I just haven't had time to do them, so I'm going to try to make this a succinct chimera, or a succinct mixture of different things, and my guiding message is going to be the idea of being genuine, because a lot of my shadow work so far has been illuminating, helping me to see what being genuine means to me. And it's not just the fluffy rainbow, you know, my true self, which is my higher self. I don't really ascribe to that idea. I think my true self is both my higher and my shadow self. It's an integration, a sense of whole between the light and the dark, so to speak. So being genuine then is that sense of integration. It is that sense of being true to that integration into the whole, a whole sense of self. Yeah, so I just did a brief Google search of definitions of genuine, the word genuine, but also its Latin roots and how that might illuminate some things. So genuine, and I'm looking down at my notes, which are on orange post-it notes. Genuine, being an adjective, means truly what something is said to be, and its synonyms are authentic and sincere. Now, the reason I chose, or I'm choosing the word genuine versus the word authentic, is often, from what I've seen on the witchy YouTube community, and in other communities, other, not just online communities, but other environments, even in environments, work environments like academia, the word authentic is thrown around way too often as like this passive-aggressive way to critique someone or try to bring them down, to question their authenticity, like, who is a true witch? I'm a true witch, that person isn't, and that's just childish behavior in my opinion. So I'm avoiding the word authentic, even though it is a synonym of the word genuine. Now genuine, the etymology of the word is really interesting. The root of it, the genu part, comes from the Latin word for knee. And this brings in the image of genuflect, to bow down, to get down on your knee, to show honor to something, right? So the idea of being genuine as bowing down or surrendering yourself or recognizing and honoring that idea of the whole self as an integrated self, the whole self that includes past, present, and future, as well as higher and lower, or higher and shadow self, right? And that great intersection between all of those points. So that is like my starting point for all this. So in one aspect that my shadow work has really helped me to be genuine to myself and recognize how I need to be more genuine is my relationship to my work. Now I'm in academia, but I come from a working class background. I'm part of the first generation of my family to get a college education, much less anything above that, so I'm definitely the most educated person my bloodline on both sides of my family has ever seen. So I often have trouble with self-esteem issues, with feeling that I'm good enough, that I deserve to be here, that I'm smart enough. Anxieties about proving to other people that I'm good enough to be here. I'm in a PhD program in the Northeast of that region of the United States at a very powerful university. So yeah, just lots of anxiety and stress about that. And that in turn leads me to start to question if I really want to be here, if I really want to be doing this with my life, because I'm in a really tough situation. Not just that I don't really fit in, since I do come from that rural working class background, and you don't often find people from like working class backgrounds in academia. Academia is still a very privileged space. It's a very privileged white man, heteronormative Western space still. So if you're a person of color, if you're a woman, if you're queer in some way, if you come from a lower socioeconomic background, if you come from an immigrant background, if you're undocumented, like, the odds are against you for being successful in academia. So that's why, for anybody out there in academia, we need to make sure we support our professors and fellow students who might come from those backgrounds, even if you don't, because they've had to work twice as hard to get half as much to get where they're at. So that background already puts you at a disadvantage, and unfortunately that disadvantage can turn into a complex in your mind of an inferiority complex. And that's definitely what's been happening with me. So that's caused me to doubt whether or not I really want to be here. It's caused me to doubt or question, why do I put myself in this uncomfortable position of, just being in this very stressful environment, very closed off, privileged environment. Why? Yeah. But it's also made me reflect on just how my own personality is. I'm a very introverted person. So when you combine that introversion with that stressful environment, it causes me to like close in and close myself off and not open myself up to people, which makes teaching, the idea of teaching, very hard. I've taught before. I've taught introductory Spanish language classes, but I've never taught like literature, specifically the literature I want to do. So yeah, all of these doubts as to am I really doing what I really want with my life? And why am I here? Why am I putting myself through this? That's the sentiment I get. But then through shadow work has been able to help me understand that actually I am doing exactly what I want to do. And it's unfair that as a person who comes from a less represented background, as far as the average background in academia goes, it's unfair that I have to carry those extra burdens of having less financial means, of feelings of not belonging. But those feelings, I have a right to those feelings, but I also need to understand that I don't need to internalize them and then morph them into inferiority complex. And when I look back at, how I pushed myself in undergrad, and I put myself in uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable as in getting up and presenting my research in front of people, which can be a very vulnerable position to put yourself in. Going to conferences and presenting your research, getting your research published, or even thinking that it's possible to get your research published, thinking that your research is worthy of getting published in a sense. I've always pushed myself to do those sorts of things. I've pushed myself outside of my comfort zone. And that's just a sign that I truly do love to do what I do. I truly do love to be in academia. Even though I get into an anxious, stressed out mess before a conference presentation, the feeling you get once you're done presenting your paper at a conference in front of complete strangers, getting feedback, it's just so liberating. It's this, I fucking did it. I didn't want to do this, or I thought I didn't want to, but I did it, and now I'm glad that I did it. That's the best way that I can put this. So yeah, just bowing down and recognizing that and owning that. It's been such an important part of my shadow work process this semester, because I actually applied for a fellowship, and I got the fellowship. It's a teaching fellowship with a really awesome program that helps rural, isolated students of color from underprivileged backgrounds in rural Mississippi and Arkansas. So I'm being paid to go to rural Arkansas in June to teach a class of the literature that I find liberating and the literature that I love, which is a lot of U.S. Latino and Caribbean diasporic literature, as well as Chicana queer feminist literature. This whole process has helped me to see that I'm actually doing what I really want to do with my life. It's just frustrating sometimes, because sometimes I just want to sit on my ass and do nothing, or just read the literature that I want to read, or sometimes I just want to quit all of this and just go back and live with my husband in Georgia, because that's a whole other level of this difficulty, is choosing to be here at this particular university means choosing to be in a long-distance relationship with my husband, and we've only been married for not even 2 years. Our anniversary is in May. So yeah, shadow work and that idea of bowing down and recognizing vulnerability, but also recognizing strengths, has been so fucking powerful this semester. Oh, I needed it. And a really powerful tool has been the Mary L. Tarot. And a lot of the cards that I've been getting lately have just helped me through this process so much. One card that I've been getting a lot is the Judgment card. Sorry for the reflection. It's a phoenix, and I got it reversed. I actually got it reversed in an intense reading I did last week. I got it reversed in this deck, but I also got it reversed in my traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because I was using 3 different decks in this one reading. It was very elaborate but very illuminating. And the Judgment card, Judgment has that, and the Phoenix, I love that she chose the Phoenix for this. That idea of rebirth, of breaking down and utter complete destruction, which allows for rebuilding and recreating and rebirth. That, if that's not shadow work, I don't know what is, right? Another card that I got was the Nine of Wands, which is just unleashing your inner tiger. Let it out. Let out that creative spirit and be strong with it. This card really helped me to trust myself and trust my inner strength, and also trust the validity of my ideas, because when I get stressed out and anxious during final paper season, which is right now at the end of the semester, my anxiety and stress paralyzes me to the point to where I just keep procrastinating, because just sitting down at the computer to work on a paper, even brainstorming for an idea of a paper, which is what I'm supposed to be doing today, sometimes I get so stressed out that I just become paralyzed. And I get stressed out and paralyzed because, again, that inferiority complex jumps right in, it jumps right back and smacks me in the face, thinking that my research topic isn't good enough, or that I haven't read enough, I don't know enough about this specific topic. This card, along with this card, the Phoenix and the Tiger, they have really helped me to say, fuck that shit. Your ideas are worth something. That's why you're here. That's why you've been as successful as you are, or have been. That's why you push yourself. And actually, even though you feel miserable during the end of the semester writing all these papers, you know deep down inside, be genuine, be true, be honest, you know deep down inside you're doing exactly what you want to do with your life. As frustrating as that is, I've really been working on this idea of being genuine with myself and honest with myself, and bowing down and honoring vulnerability, bowing down and honoring and remembering just how hard I work and how much I deserve to be here, and remembering how successful I've been, and remembering my plans and goals for the future, and still maintaining hope for those plans and goals. The Judgment card has really helped me with that idea of rebirth of hope, because there have been some tough times this semester which have really tested my hope, as far as how hopeful I am that my plans for the future will come into fruition the way that I want them to. Yeah, it's been a really intense semester for shadow work, and I can honestly say that my focus on shadow work so far this year, for the year 2016, has really made a great impact. I can tell that I'm more mature and stronger now, even than I was back in December, you know, just a few months ago. I can tell that I'm kind of recognizing those negative thought patterns, and I'm not just shoving them down. I'm not beating myself up about having them. I'm giving them space, I'm expressing them, and then I move on. You know, so it's helped me to develop a more healthy way to manage those negative thought patterns and those that inferiority complex that I tend to have. And it's helped me be more creative about what kind of tools I can use for shadow work. It's not just about, you know, writing notes in a journal and using tarot cards. It's also working with crystals for shadow work, for manifesting the end goals and end results you want for shadow work. Sometimes shadow work can feel really heady, or at least that's how it feels to me. So having something like a crystal, something in the physical realm, helps to remind me to put that shadow work, that heady thought process to practice, to put it in the physical so that I can manifest real change. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed my ramblings. For any fellow shadow workers out there, good luck. I commend you. It's an intense process, but man, it's so fulfilling and so empowering. So good luck on your shadow work journeys, and probably the next time you'll see me will be from Georgia, when I am putting together and finalizing my plans for that course that I'm going to be teaching in Arkansas. So I'm really excited to make videos from Arkansas if I can sneak off and have time by myself, since I'm very much still in the broom closet, at least professionally, in the professional academic realm. So yeah, I'm really excited about this summer. I'm really excited about the things I'll be reading and studying this summer, and I'll make videos about that in the weeks to come. Okay, bye everybody!